Hey everyone, so welcome back to The Bored Journalist. So Hollywood is no stranger to drama, but when a feud involves big names like Monique, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry, it's bound to get messy. What started as an Oscar-winning performance turned into a decade-long dispute involving blackballing allegations, unpaid work, and the struggle for fair pay in Hollywood. So let's break down this feud with Monique and these Black Hollywood power players. So Monique was a rising star in Hollywood. She was known for her stand-up comedy and starring in the hit show The Parkers. I love The Parkers, watched it all the time. I'm such a fan of not just The Parkers, but that whole brand. It was like Moesha and Girlfriends and The Parkers and The Game. It was like a spinoff of a spinoff of a spinoff. But anyways, Monique became a beloved name in the entertainment industry, and in 2009 she had this significant role in Precious, which catapulted her into new heights. Precious is actually very traumatizing for me. That's not a movie that I'll look up like, I don't know, maybe The Wood or Soul Food. Like, I'll search for it on TV or something. That's not that kind of movie. That Precious is very powerful, but it's also very triggering and very depressing. So her performance as Mary Lee Johnson, it was chilling, it was raw, unforgettable, and it earned her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. While many of us believe this was just the beginning of an even greater career, things took a turn for the worse. So behind the scenes, according to Monique, her troubles started during the Precious Awards campaign. I'm going to let Monique explain in her own words what happened. This recording is an interview from Club Shay Shay that she did with Shannon Sharpe last year.
Tell the people that's going to watch this and listen to this, what was Monique contractually obligated to do as far as the promotional aspect of Precious?
I was contractually obligated to promote the movie Precious under Lee Daniels Productions.
Okay.
I promoted Precious under Lee Daniels Productions. I did Oprah, I did magazines, I did TV shows, I did all of the promotions I was contractually obligated to do.
Okay.
That was it.
That was it.
I'm done with it.
Done.
Okay?
Done.
Now Precious is going to Cannes, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I have the Monique Show.
Mm-hmm.
I am on the Spread the Love tour. I have toddler babies. And I'm also a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The Monique Show is like down for maybe a couple days, a week or so.
Right.
I got some days off on the tour. I'm going to relax with my family.
Right.
Because once they sold the movie,
Right.
you didn't sell me.
Right.
Whoopi Goldberg. See, Whoopi Goldberg said I could have schooled you and told you what was expected when I didn't promote and go overseas. And you know how you just looked up and looked away?
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg, what you were saying to me, I could have schooled you and told you, you go in that house and let them have their way with you.
Right.
And I'll be here when you come back.
Mm-hmm.
So after I'm done with my promotions, Lionsgate reaches out to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, they think they're talking to my attorney, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, we want Monique to come to Cannes. She promoted so well in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We want her to go international and promote the movie and do Cannes.
Okay.
I tell my husband, please let them know I respectfully decline. I appreciate it, but I respectfully decline. I'm going to spend some time at home.
Right.
Lionsgate calls back. We really would like for Monique to come to Cannes,
Mm-hmm.
promote this movie. Please let them know I respectfully decline. I'm going to spend time with my family. Lionsgate calls back and says, what is it going to take for us to get Monique to come to Cannes? We'll give her another week in France. We'll upgrade her room. My husband said, is there a dollar amount attached to what you're asking for? Oh, we will never pay anyone to promote a film. Never. He said, we understand. And we're never going to work for free. You're asking her to do something that she's not obligated to do.
Correct.
Well, is this the attorney? He said, actually, I'm her manager and her husband. Now we can put it on the husband's being difficult.
Right.
Right? Okay. So I don't owe anybody anything. That's why I was never sued. Now we go to the Hoodie Awards. Tyler Perry is there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry calls me in his room. Now, when I go into Tyler Perry's room, his staff is in there. Now, you ready to holler laughing?
Yes.
Okay, I take my security in there with me because I always want to have somebody with me.
Right.
Right? Tyler Perry does this. And the people scattered. They all left out the room. I said, look at this shit right here. You saw me. And they all scattered.
That wasn't the lights. That's for the people. You know, lights on.
Lights off because they got their asses up out of there. Okay. So at the time, my security looked at me. I said, you don't work for Tyler Perry. You could.
Touche.
So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, Monique, we really need you to, promote this film because if you get nominated for the Oscar, your next movie is going to be $3 to $5 million. If you win it, your next movie is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler Perry, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. When they gonna pay that kind of money? No, I'm telling you, that's what it is. And if you just go and promote it, I said, listen, brother, you can pay me to promote it. Because at the time, now him and Oprah are producers on the film.
Right.
I said, you can pay me to do it. I don't care where the check come from, but y'all just gotta pay me to do it. He said, I'm not in the habit of giving out money for free. I said, and I'm not in the habit of working for free. But you gave T.D. Jakes a check for $1 million, but that's another story, and I'm back. Mm-hmm. So when he then says that, it's like, listen, we both mutually agree. You don't give out free money, I don't work for free. Service. We hugged, Shannon. When we were done talking, we hugged. Do you hear me?
In a surprising twist, Monique and Lee Daniels publicly reconciled in 2022. Lee Daniels apologized to Monique at an event, admitting that she should not have been mistreated. Following this, she was cast in his upcoming film, The Deliverance. But as for Oprah and Tyler Perry, Monique has stated that she's still waiting for them to acknowledge their role and what happened to her career. Recently, Monique reignited her feud with Tyler Perry following his speech at Angie Stone's funeral. Perry passionately condemned the mistreatment Angie faced in the music industry, questioning where her owed money was and why she didn't receive her proper recognition. However, Monique saw a contradiction in his words. She took to social media to address Perry directly, pointing out that he had called her difficult to work with despite never having worked with her. She reminded him that he had privately admitted he was wrong in a recorded phone call, but never issued the public apology he promised in 2016. She also criticized him for asking her to promote Precious without compensation, highlighting what she saw as a double standard. Monique concluded her letter by urging Perry to take accountability, invoking biblical teachings, and asking whether his actions align with his faith. This public call-out has once again fueled discussions about Hollywood's treatment of black artists and whether Perry will finally address Monique's concerns. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of Tyler Perry's speech from the service.
I want to go down the street of those promoters and record labels and people not paying folks. But anyway, Taraji said she took her in the corner and she sung a song for her in that club. That's the heart of a person. That's the soul of a person who cared about her fans, who cared about getting paid. You know, I was being interviewed by this woman once, and she was telling me, she's like, Tyler, I just want to tell you, I can always tell when they're going to go left because the interview starts, all these questions, and then it's like, the black women in your movies, do you portray them? It's such negativity, and they're always going through something, and they're always, and just a black woman. I asked her, I said, you ever been through something? She's like, my life is great. I have a great husband, my kids are great, everything's wonderful. I said, God bless you that you can live a perfect life. That's wonderful. Then I turned to her and I asked her, I said, how old are you? She said, 25. I said, baby, keep living. But I look at these young folks who are living these lives and they think that it's supposed to be the way that it is on Instagram, and they're forgetting about the people who have paved the way for them to be in that situation. They're forgetting about the women like Angie Stone, who's been in the business all of these years. You're gonna forget about what she did, all of the people that she put on and helped. So you gotta go through something to write a song like $20. Because in it she says, what you know about being poor. She don't say poor, she says poor. What you know about having to borrow from the neighbor next door. These are her words. What you know about bumming rides. What you know about having to swallow your pride. And this is the part of the song that got to me when she said, what do you do when you're through? When you're always helping people and nobody is there for you. Y'all gotta forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated.
So what do you all think? Was Monique right to stand her ground, or did she go about it the wrong way? Are Oprah and Tyler Perry really to blame, or is Hollywood just an unforgiving industry? My personal opinion, I don't feel like Monique is wrong. Do I think that this post was the place for it after Angie's funeral? No, I don't. But I don't blame her for wanting a public apology. Your reputation in that industry kind of seems like that's all you have, especially as a black woman, and they labeled her difficult, so that's hard to bounce back from, and she probably does feel betrayed. But you all leave your comments below, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.